And we're live. Let's go live on Instagram. If it lets me, Instagram has been giving us some problem, but
Mm-hmm.
there
Yeah.
I was able to do it. Hello, everyone. It's July 15th, 2025. It's 3 p.m. in the Eastern time zone. And we're here with Melissa B., who is in Australia. And what's your time zone called over there?
Where I am, it's Australian Central Standard Time, 4:30 a.m. 4:35 a.m.
Okay. So
Nice and early.
there's like a half an hour odd difference there in addition to the 10 hours. All right.
Mm.
So for some reason, I don't see this going live. Well, we'll see.
Mine says live. I can
No, no,
see it
no.
says live.
I I do see it on my own channel, but not on Dr. Kilt's channel for some reason.
Okay.
But anyways, so hello everyone. Uh, we're gonna be talking to Melissa, and I am going to read a little bio on Melissa here. I did put it in the description on my channel, but it. All right. Melissa B is a transformational coach, speaker, and founder of Carnivore Live, Australia's largest carnivore lifestyle event. As a leading voice in the carnivore movement in Australia, she built a thriving community dedicated to health, strength, and simplicity through ancestral eating. With over 10 years of experience in wellness, lifestyle mindset, and personal development, Melissa helps people reclaim their energy, confidence, and vitality through a powerful blend of mindset, movement, and metabolism. After losing 23 kilograms, that's what, about nearly 50 pounds, and transforming her own life, she is now passionate about empowering others to do the same, proving that true healing starts from within. Welcome, Melissa. And
Thank you. Thanks for having
if
me.
if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. Although I don't think this is going into Dr. Kilt's channels, even though it's supposed to. Strange. I'm gonna anyways, go ahead, Melissa, and I want to hear about your carnivore story, about before and after, the changes you've made, and the other
Yeah.
things you're doing in this community. So,
Yes. Well, firstly, thank you for having me. For those who don't know, Dr. Nelson and I met in the Smoky Mountains when we were at Meatstock recently in May. And that was a really fun experience for all of us. And I guess being in that environment under those circumstances, we were kind of forced to connect on a deeper level because really we were up so high and we couldn't really go anywhere, and we just had beautiful connections and fun together, getting to know each other, and yeah, eating and sharing experiences together in a beautiful environment. So those memories will stick with me for a very long time. Loved that. Loved that.
so
Yeah,
tell us
so
about your carnivore story.
yeah, so my My carnivore story, actually, I would say my story to get on the wellness journey started in 2010, actually, when I was experiencing a heap of unresolved, unrelated health issues. And no one could really correlate anything and tell me what was going on, until one day my left ear started ringing really loud, and I was diagnosed with tinnitus. I think they say in America, or tinnitus, which is a ringing in the ear, they say, that never goes away. So I was given a whole heap of steroid nasal sprays and blood thinners, and I need to take these the rest of my life, and was told there was nothing that could be done for me. And I just walked out the door thinking, if my body created this, maybe my body can change this. So maybe it's something I'm doing or eating or the way I'm being. So it set me on this journey to find answers myself. And back in 2010, like, we had internet, but the information wasn't readily available. We had to find the answers, find the people to really help us. And I did, when they say when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And one by one, I was guided to the right people to help me understand what was going on inside of me. And my whole, I was 26 years old, like my whole insides were very unhealthy, very unhealthy. I had chronic gut issues and parasite issues, heavy metal issues. I had a whole heap of things. Candida, chronic candida, like all these issues that were causing my body to be inflamed, causing my body to react in certain ways, and also just not feel very good. And we shouldn't really be feeling like that at 26 years old. But it was a wake-up call for me. And it set me off on this journey of taking care of myself and being conscious of what I'm putting into my body, being conscious of lifestyle choices I'm making that impact how my body responds, and how my body survives or thrives. And I went down like the paleo path back then, because that's kind of what was happening back then, was paleo movement. And yeah, after that, I had in 12 months, I had some amazing results. I lost a heap of weight. I was feeling very healthy and well. I reversed all of the issues that were causing me problems, like all of my health issues at the time, skin problems, gut issues all gone. And my left ear significantly lowered the ringing. So I kind of know now what makes it worse. So I'm very conscious of that. A lot of it is to do with what I'm eating, how I'm feeling, and how I'm living. So,
do you have any symptoms that come back?
Yeah, I mean, every so often, for me, the only real factor is maybe stress, or if I'm under a lot of pressure, like it will be very lightly fuzzy, and I will hear it a little bit. But lately it's been low, which is great. And most of the time I don't hear it, which is great. Yeah, and then what happened was I went through a stressful time. I went through a divorce, and I had kids, went through a divorce, and just kind of lost my way for a while. Put on a whole heap of weight, was very, very stressed and unhealthy because I was mostly in survival mode. And around about 2021, I finally started to take care of myself, and again. And I thought I knew what to do, so I just did what I knew. And that was working to a certain point until I met a coach who started training me with weights, and also on the keto diet, which is, similar but different, I guess, to the way that I was eating before and doing more of a paleo. So I saw a really big change in myself within 3 to 4 months of, weight training and eating keto. My body totally changed. And so at that point, I was mainly looking at how my body was changing, how I was physically feeling. And after 12 months of that, I decided to do a bikini bodybuilding competition, which was just like a challenge for myself to see how far I could go. And about 6 weeks out, I got sick, and had a couple of weeks off of my prep. As I came back in, I just thought, what am I going to do to get myself across the line here? And my coach said, you should do carnivore for the end, like the last couple of weeks, 4 weeks of this prep. And I'm like, I'll do whatever it takes to get there. So I did, and it had a significant impact on how I changed how I looked, got rid of any inflammation that was left in me. It's like someone had put a vacuum in me and sucked everything out. So I was in really great shape. And yeah, the beauty of that experience was that I realized how much better I felt. And coming out of that competition, I realized I wouldn't actually change the way I was eating. And I didn't want to go back to eating keto anymore. I would sometimes say I'm a ketovore. So if I choose to, I do, because there's no real kind of health or autoimmune or anything major that I'm doing carnivore for. So I stay as strict as I can, and then I may have a little something that's a bit more keto, and then it's fine, and I'll go back on. But mostly carnivore for the last, say, 3 years. And yeah, the impact it had on me was mental clarity, energy. My energy is amazing. My mental clarity. I feel like I can see the world differently. I see colors brighter. I just lost the fog, around me, and that most people don't realize, because they think their normal is normal. And I think what most people don't realize is that there is so much more in terms of how you could be living and experiencing life. And that's why I'm so passionate about sharing my story and how it feels for me, because most people just don't know what they don't know.
And the thing, what you just said, most people don't know, and you're talking about mental clarity and how you feel.
Yeah.
Most people don't believe the ones that have gone through the experience when they say, it cleared the fog. I feel much better. I'm thinking clearly. And some people, well, I still need my veggies and fruits all the time. And but it is certainly a difference. And some people sometimes ask about life expectancy, and this study shows this, and this other study shows that, and negative uh, results regarding red meat or carnivore diet. And first of all, there's no there's never going to be randomized controlled trials that pit the two extremes. But if you're feeling good, and if you're improving your quality of life, that is very
Yes.
crucial. Because if you were able, and I was able to improve multiple health conditions that were really dragging and not making me feel good, not making you feel good. And you mentioned things like gout. I'm
No,
surprised.
I didn't have gout.
Oh, okay.
I had stomach issues. I always had some gut. I had candida, had leaky gut issues. Yeah.
All right. So you must have said gut. Uh,
It's my Aussie accent.
well, I'm guilty of accents as well. Uh, I got a stroke in 2018 and it gave me a Spanish accent. I haven't been able to get rid of that. Uh,
Yeah, is that right?
so I want to remind everyone and apologize because you got here 5-6 minutes into our conversation. You can always go back and listen to the beginning, but some technical difficulties. But put any questions you have in the chat, please. And if I'm able to see it, if you put a QQQ before your question for Melissa, then we can address those. Um, So what what do you what was the main thing out of everything that you reversed? Because in my case, my quest has been to improve my blood sugars and the weight loss. Yeah, also I wanted it. I was this guy here, so over 100 pounds, but blood sugar control is my prime objective, and still struggling with that 2 years later, but I feel great. My numbers are great. And then I realized a host of other conditions that improve. So which one was the one that you mentioned you had gone carnivore and you were in the middle of training for this competition, and the last 2 weeks uh you used carnivore, and did you then continue after that? That has been the point. What
Yeah, I think what it did was it like you think you're feeling amazing as best as you can, and then you go carnivore and you realize how much more you can feel from an energy level perspective, mental clarity, just overall health, well-being. And it's like, wow, I didn't know I could just continue to up level in terms of how I feel. And I would then say, well, I don't really need to go back to eating how I was eating, even with keto, because I feel the best when I'm just eating meat. And that's a really, that statement is hard for people to understand at times, but unless you really tried it, you don't know. And most people that do try it are amazed at how it makes them feel, and most want to share it with everybody because they can't believe how simple it is.
So what things did you improve that you were not expecting to improve?
I would say what I love the most. Oh, I don't have. By the way, like I don't have, because I went from paleo to keto to this. I never really had anything that I was managing really from a health perspective that was significant, really enough for me to say to you, yeah, I had this and I don't have this now. Mine was like a gradual process, and apart from earlier on to um, to manage my ringing ear. For me, mostly it's been about weight and managing my health, and that's all maintained. Like at my age, I'll be 42 in September, and it's just more about being my age and being healthy and well and vibrant and energetic for my kids and for me with life, and it gives me the fuel I need to get through every day in a really, really simple way. What I love is that I just fuel up and I'm good for the day, So it makes eating so simple, really simple. And that's what I love about it. But yeah, mental clarity, energy, vibrancy, just like a zest for life that we don't really feel beforehand. And then all of a sudden it's like, wow, I've got this boost of energy and I'm riding on, high all day. It also helps the way we approach life, I think, how we feel, how we how we interact with people. It's an energy. It's actually an energy. And we know that because when we get together, as you know, when we get together, you feel it between carnivores. Like you feel that energy.
I've been in plenty of conferences of different types and situations throughout the years, meetings, and the energy was different. Definitely, those
Mm.
few days in Meatstock. And by the
Yeah.
way, she's mentioned a few times she's of a certain age, but she doesn't even look. She still looks in her 20s. You can lie to me and tell me you're 27, 29. I'll believe you. Uh,
Yeah, I had a few people not believe me when I came over there. And I think, again, credit to the way we're eating. It helps skin, hair. just the way your body functions, and I've been able to stay, maintain my weight for the first time in my whole life. In the last 3-4 years, I've been able to really maintain the way I look and feel like I've never done before. So yeah, I love that about it.
Do you do any fasting?
Yeah, I had been doing. I've dabbled in it in a whole heap of different ways. I was doing 2 days a week, full 24, probably 36-hour overnight fasts. I would maybe do a Tuesday and a Thursday every week. And that was really helpful. And yeah, so I've also tried a bit of alternate day fasting. So eat big, fast long, and that helps me feel amazing. Probably not really sustainable. So yeah, I do enjoy that. Hello, all people saying hello. I can see all the comments. And then I did a 70-hour fast recently, the first time. That was amazing. I felt great through that experience and dropped a whole heap of weight, and yeah, it felt amazing. So yeah, I usually eat in the morning really big. I have my biggest meal in the morning, 2 steaks usually. And then I'll eat something small late afternoon, and that'll be it. I often don't eat dinner.
So 2 steaks, about how much in ounces
Oh,
or
I don't know.
grams do you
I don't know
consume?
what's I would say maybe 150 to 200 grams, maybe each. Maybe 150, to 200 grams each steak. So I have a big meal in the morning.
All right. So 200 grams is 7 ounces. So you have about 14, 16 ounces for breakfast.
Yeah, and
So,
my body really wants that in the morning. Yeah.
if you have any questions, I haven't seen any, but if you have any questions, just put them in the chat. So you mentioned you thrown some fasting. Today's day number 6 for me, and number 10 for Dr. Kiltz.
I heard. Do you know what's really funny? When I had a call from Scott from Meatstock, and Dr. Kiltz was there, and we were talking about fasting, and he wasn't going to do a fast because he was amongst everybody at one of the events recently, and something must have gotten into him since then. And I've seen he's done the 10-day fast since then, and it's almost made me want to get on board too and do something long term to try it.
So we'll see how long we go. He has a goal of 14 days.
Yeah. Okay.
My goal is to go longer than him. So we'll see.
What are you just having water? Is that what's happening?
So I'm having water. I'm
Yeah.
still having. I have a coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
And I put butter in it. I put MCT oil, and a couple of times, if I felt a little bit not completely normal, if I feel hungry or cold or anything like that, I've had a tablespoon of butter and salt. So
Yeah.
that's been the only source of anything that wouldn't be just water. But
Yeah.
otherwise, I'm fasting. My ketones are almost 3 on the keto mojo, between 2.5 and 3.
Yeah. Cool.
And
Yeah.
I feel good at the moment. I always say it's not absolutely necessary to do prolonged fasting, but time restriction in the amount of food that we eat, because most people eat too much. There are some recent studies that show people are eating 15 times in a day, because every time you
Yeah.
put something in your mouth is an event
Yeah.
of eating, and that causes blood sugar to go up and insulin to go up. And eating that many times a day, even if you're having just 3 meals and then 3 snacks, that's six times in a day. just the amount, even if you're eating good food. However, I don't think you can really, if you have two steaks in the morning, it's very hard to eat three, four, five times like that again because
Yeah,
you
you
get
can't.
so satiated. So
Yeah, yeah. And that's the beauty. That's the beauty of it, because I refuel in the morning and it gets me through most of the day. I don't need anything else. And how good is that? I work in the city couple days a week, and there's so much takeaway food available, and I watch how people are eating, and you just don't want to. It doesn't even look like food anymore. It's not. I don't consider it something I would fuel my body with, and I don't even need it because I don't need to eat any more than what I'm doing. So you takes away this. Food in life for people becomes this like social function, or just like, oh, it's lunchtime, I should eat, or it's dinner time, we should eat. And it's like, no, you don't have to eat. You really don't have to eat at that time.
just because
So
it's time doesn't mean you need to eat. The
yeah,
thing is,
food freedom. Yeah.
where we're constantly eating, particularly when it's loaded with carbohydrates, uh, you feel hungry faster. So your
Yep.
signals get all mixed, and hormonally, your ghrelin and leptin are not functioning at its optimum. Uh,
Mhm.
so, yeah, if you just eat, get full, it's much easier to take your mental energy and focus it on everything else. Uh,
Yes.
you mentioned about working. What do you do normally for work?
Yeah. So look, I've had experience in the corporate world, in just a operational space in financial planning, and that's been my career. That's where I ended up. However, when I had that, when I had the situation with my ear back in 2010, and I had such an amazing experience, and pretty much turned it all around. I thought to myself, gosh, there must be other people out there looking for this kind of information too. Maybe I should start running retreats, which then led to running like seminar wellness days. And then it turned into, oh, get some keynote speakers, or film screening launches, or book launches, and anything that I had seen or experienced that I wanted to share with people. I would bring the community together in my local city and run events. And that's what led me to create my events Carnivore Live here in Australia, because I was following the carnivore lifestyle. I could see what was happening in the States. I had connections with some amazing people already in the space, like Dr. Chafee and Kerry Mann and Bella, Professor Buck Hay, Dave Mack, some really amazing speakers and people doing a lot for the carnivore world. So I reached out to a whole heap of speakers and I said, listen, if I run an event here in Adelaide, Australia, would you come? And they all said yes. They all came down last November. We had the first event here, because I didn't know. I didn't know if there were actually people in Australia who were carnivore. I had no idea. Where do you find carnivores? Like, how do you find them? And it seems that on certain, like Facebook has a whole heap of carnivore groups, where I realized there were a lot of Australian carnivores. And as soon as I released the event, people started booking from all over the country to come down and be part of it. So we sold out of 350 people for the first event, and it was amazing. The energy was amazing. People were so excited to be there and hear from some of their the leaders in the space who they've been following and learning from for a long time online. So to have them all in one place, sharing and getting to spend time with them was amazing. So yeah, we did another one in April in Melbourne, Australia, and Dr. Kiltz came down for that. Bella as well, Carnivore Ray. a whole heap of local speakers as well, and was very successful. So yeah, now I'm working on the event for next year, and I love it because it's an opportunity to bring people together in this carnivore community. And when you get together, it's just a vibe. It's a buzz. People love to get together and, you know, like connect and share their stories.
So when is your next event?
I'm looking at early, I think it's February, late February next year. Not totally confirmed, but we're looking at that. Yeah.
Okay. All righty. I never been down under. I would need to
You
get my
should
passport,
come.
but
Yeah, you should come down. Dr. Kiltz is going to come and be part of it, help me co-host, which will be fun.
all right. So we have I just completed a 40-hour drive fast.
Drive
It's
fast.
so
Yeah.
easy.
Wow, 40-hour drive fast.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
Well
think
done.
I've done a 42-hour drive fast. That's my longest as far as a drive fast. I don't think there is most people don't need to necessarily go on a prolonged fast. However, intermittent fasting and time restrictive eating, I think they're very important, especially if you're trying to
Yes.
reverse uh, different conditions. So
Yeah. Yeah. And I think
now,
that's the beauty. Yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Just on that, I think that's the beauty of people sharing their stories. And I mentioned Dave Mack. I don't know if you know of him. He's a Australian living in Japan, and he's
Yeah.
interviewed over 1,000 carnivores. So he has so many different stories of people going through healing. And I think I love that about carnivore, because so many people have tried it for different reasons and it has significantly helped them. So you know, it's not like do this and get that. It can help so many different things. And this is what you don't realize. You may do it for one thing and you gain so much more, you know?
Definitely. We had Dave Mack here, and then I was on his channel. So
Oh, good.
yes,
Fantastic.
that was
He's
a
an awesome.
couple of months ago.
Yeah. Oh, good.
So
Great guy. Great.
I do have a question. This question is for me.
Yeah.
Dr. Nelson, how do you get such pretty guests? Let's see. Just stay tuned. It's gonna be hard to beat Melissa, but we'll
Yes,
see.
I'm on the other side of the world. Yes. And it's 5 a.m. So hence the mood lighting today.
So this is a good question. Cam's dad. Have you incorporated grounding and morning outside sun into your regimen?
Yes. Yes. So I sleep on a grounding mat. I've got a grounding mat on my mattress. So for starters, I highly recommend that. When I started sleeping on the grounding mat on my bed, when I would lay down on it, my body would just kind of sink. You would feel it just relax after a whole day of movement and being around, you know, technology and Wi-Fi's and all that kind of thing. So firstly, sleeping, I've never changed sleeping on the earthing mat at night. Your body just relaxes in a way it's not used to. And yeah, highly recommend that. But yes, if you'd like to talk a bit about morning routine, and this is again about, you know, my 3 pillars, which is movement, metabolism, mindset, because you could maybe be getting one right and then the others kind of are a bit wobbly. And I think it is a combination of choices that help us to really thrive. So in the morning, my morning ritual, apart from this morning, because I'm up doing this with you guys, is I'll
sorry
get up.
about that.
It's okay. So I will do meditation in the morning, journaling, gratitude, and then I'll go outside and put my feet on the ground as the sun is rising. I'll do a little bit of breath work and gratitude and looking into the sunrise every morning. Yeah. I think it's
right.
really important for our circadian rhythm to, just get outside. And some people haven't put their feet on the ground in a really, really long time. They don't realize, take your socks and shoes off and put your feet on the bare ground. Your body, you'll feel the difference. Oh, I'm a big advocate for that. But also gratitude in the morning, I think, too.
So this is a common question. Sandra asks, does your family support your way of eating?
I think for me, although they think it's a little strange and that they don't fully support my way of eating because they can't understand it. And when they can't understand it and haven't had the same experience, they're going to question whether or not what I'm doing is right. But their questioning is only based on their own experiences. So my choice then is to lead by example, and I don't fight my cause with them. I show them. I show them by the way I look and feel and the way I show up and the person I am. And I'm not forcing anybody to do anything that they don't want to do. I'm just showing them what it means for me. And if they're interested in giving it a shot and trying it themselves, they can. If they don't have to. So, yes, the answer is my family understand and kind of accept it, but I wouldn't say they're so supportive, which is weird because you would think so because of how it benefits me on a whole wellness level.
And, we all go through that. Not everyone in my family, uh, they support me. They know what I do. They don't get in the way. They know what I eat and what I don't eat. As a matter of fact, if I eat something that they think I shouldn't be eating, hey, what are you doing? Uh,
Yeah.
but now my wife is keto and she has some vegetables every day. She's gotten out of it, insulin, lost 60, 70 pounds as well.
Mm.
And I had a son, or I have a son, who went carnivore a few weeks ago. He lost 15 pounds. Now, he just went on a vacation. I have no idea what he ate
Yes.
during the vacation because he wasn't in a resort in Dominican Republic. But and my oldest son, actually, he has been, since we did an Atkins diet in the early 90s. He was a teenager and he wanted to, not in the early 90s, but around 2000. And he wanted to lose like 20 pounds, and he did. And ever since, he's watched what he ate a lot more. So, I put steaks to dry age a little bit on my refrigerator, and he eats from them as well. He constantly stealing my steaks. Anyways, but even though, and in your case is the same, you did have some health issues like the tinnitus or tinnitus, and but people can see what they see. The first thing that people see, you did lose a significant amount of weight, right? So someone
Yeah,
looks at you and say,
and also kept it off.
exactly. So that's something that people see. And in my case, the same thing. I have improved a lot of things that you were not able to see. So you wouldn't
Yeah.
know unless I told you. But
Mm.
uh
Do you know what
when
else do you know
go
what else I
ahead.
say, Nelson, is
Uh-huh.
that when somebody asks me, and Sandra, in regards to your question. Like when somebody asks me or makes a comment and then they'll say, oh, I just can't understand why or how you can only eat meat. And I actually question them back and I say, what I would really love for you to ask me is, why are you eating only meat? Because nobody's making me do anything. And this is a choice I'm making. And if I'm choosing to eat like this and it being so different to what we're used to or told to do, then there must be a really good reason for that. And what I would really love for you to ask me is, why are you doing this? Because when you hear all of my whys, you'll realize how life changing this can be for you. And yeah, I don't think the question is why do you eat only meat, or how can you only eat meat? Like I'm not. No one's forcing me to do this. I'm making a choice. I've tried something. I've had a certain result. I feel amazing. And now I choose to live like this forever. Like, to actually make that choice, there must be really big reasons why. And everyone's the same that we speak to. And I think that's what people need to understand. Like, unless you really have experienced it, you don't know. And when you do know, you never want to go back. Never.
And that it's so real because I feel great, much better than I have felt in the past, I don't know, 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
Uh, and it is a choice. Nobody's forcing me. It just, I choose not to eat certain things because whenever I did that, it wasn't good for my health. Ended up, I was very, very metabolically sick, and I'm not anymore. So some people say, I think one of the problems is that we have all been brainwashed about the plant-based diets and you have got to have your vegetables and your fruit and your fiber, and how can you not eat that because you're not uh, getting the right nutrition. So this is one of the things that happens when you go carnivore. Some people struggle with getting their energy back. And rocking keto, Amy, how long until the energy boost typically happens? What do you think, Melissa?
Well, it really depends where you're coming from. Are you coming off a standard diet, or are you coming off keto or something else similar? So it really depends. I don't think we could make a statement about that. It really, really depends. For example, if I were to go off carnivore and then come back on, about 3 days, I've noticed in the past. I don't go off now, but if you're coming off standard diet, it could take 2 weeks or more. Yeah. Because your body has to go through a whole heap of changes. And you have, this is where we start to talk about things like oxalate dumping and keto flus, and your body has to adjust. So you're not going to feel it immediately. Some people do. By the way, I've got an amazing story of somebody here, an older gentleman who literally changed overnight and felt the difference immediately. So it really depends, really, really depends on your circumstance. Everyone's different, I would say.
Now, I'm sure you get questions a lot about these things, and your answer is perfect because it depends on uh, the person, it depends on so many circumstances. I had been doing a strict keto for about 6 months. I had lost 45 pounds and I went carnivore. And within 3 days, uh, either the third or fourth day, I woke up and I knew I wasn't going to eat that day because I wasn't hungry at all. And I had this elation and feeling just 3 days into it. But some other people take longer, and some other people don't quite get it, don't get the boost like a switch. It's more of a gradual thing. And for some people, once they try to go back to eat some other stuff is that when they realize, wait a second, now I'm feeling worse. I was feeling a lot better. So when you have gradual changes, also you don't always identify
Yeah.
the marked difference.
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
I am pretty much an advocate for going into it with ease, starting with keto and then going into carnivore, because that was my experience, and I never had any of those dramatic changes and feelings that would, because I hear often also people that I tried carnivore, it didn't work because I was doing this binge and restrict um, pattern, and I think that's why it is really hard to go from standard diet to carnivore. By the way, it can be done, no problems, but it's a lot tougher, I think, and you really have to have the willpower to stick it out.
Camps that asks, have your opinions about any testing changed? Where did you start and now? I don't know if this question is just for me or
What kind
did
of
you,
testing are we talking about?
uh, so let me set this up because Dr. Kiltz is not a fan of uh, testing. So just do it. And we still need to talk a little bit about what you do for mindset. You've mentioned a few things, but uh, I like testing a little bit more, tracking. If you want to track, be my guest. I don't, I've been dealing with patients for over 40 years. So I do whatever the patient wants. So if you want to track, track. If you don't want to track, don't track. Uh, do tests or not do tests. Uh, Personally, but last time I did any significant blood test was a year and a half ago, and I haven't repeated those. It was a whole lot of different tests. I do check my blood glucose and my ketones with certain frequency. Now during the fast, I'm doing it every day. I just checked it. It was 78 glucose and 2.8 or 2.9 on the ketones. So I don't know if that's what you meant, Cam. Uh, so mindset,
I
how
don't-
important do you think is mindset
yeah.
in life in
Oh,
general, and obviously complementing carnivore?
yeah. I have had experiences where I'm doing everything right, and from a movement, exercise, metabolism, circadian rhythm, eating, and I was actually holding on to quite a bit of weight. I wasn't feeling the best mentally or on the inside, a bit of internal kind of chaos where I wasn't at peace, and that was impacting everything. I didn't realize, because I thought I was doing all the right things. This is where I hear stories like, doing carnivore, I haven't lost any weight, and I can pretty much look someone in the eye now, given the experience that I've had recently, where I've had to make some changes in my life um, that have positively impacted my nervous system, and since then it's like everything came into alignment, and my body really began to work with me, for me, and has been dropping body fat and functioning a lot better. And I really need people to understand that how they feel impacts how they function. And you think you're doing all the right things, and then you're not seeing results or nothing's changing. And I think we need to look within. And if something is causing us distress, or if it takes away our internal peace, we need to do some work on it, and there's plenty of ways to do that, and I take the time to do that when I notice something is not quite right.
So the diet is very important, but you have to definitely incorporate several things and make sure you're sleeping well, you're managing your stress, you have the right mindset, and all these other things can really mess you up. Uh, so it's
Yeah.
not only the diet, diet is very important, but
Hmm.
any of these other things can certainly uh, distract you and
Yeah. And
mess up.
by the way, it can be very simple, the things that you implement. It can be very simple what we implement to help that. It could be stopping a couple times a day and taking some deep breaths. It can be the getting outside in the morning and putting your feet on the ground and being grateful. It could be going for a walk or having a beautiful conversation with a supportive friend. It doesn't have to be go and see a therapist and talk it out. Talk therapy sometimes it's not the answer, and I think we need to get very clear on what our values are and make sure we're making good choices for ourselves and staying true to ourselves. Yeah.
All right. So this question here, I want you to tell me, what is your North Star? What is your why that keeps you going?
So I've got kind of two ways to approach this because the way I feel, the way I live, the excitement for life that carnivore gives me is my driver. I want to live life to the fullest, and I need to feel well, be well, live well to do that. And but then I run events, and my goal is to inspire and empower and educate as many people as I can, bring the communities together, so that they can share their own stories, inspire and empower each other, and go home. And then there's a ripple effect out to the community through who they see and speak to, and those that are watching what these people are doing too. So I have a more global, I guess, perspective on my North Star and why. It's like I wouldn't want to have an experience like this and not share it with other people. So that's why I'm out there doing what I'm doing, because this is not just reserved for me or for you or just the select few. It's for everyone. I think everyone needs to know about this. So that's my why. I'm very passionate about wanting to share this message.
So for me, the reason I'm a doctor, many of the people here have heard the story, but I decided to be a doctor probably as early as the age of 3. My brother
Mm-hmm.
had epileptic seizures, and I used to tell him I was going to be a doctor to cure him. He passed
Oh,
away from pneumonia at the age of 8. I was still
wow.
not, I was 5 when he died. So
Yeah.
that's been my why I'm a doctor. Uh, but my family is the main reason I want to keep healthy. And this little fellow here
No.
is one of the reasons why. At the moment, he's my only grandson, even though I keep asking for more. Yeah. So that is my why. My family today is uh, my wife and I wedding anniversary, 41 years
Oh, today.
today.
Oh, congrats. Wow. Fantastic. Yeah, I
So
agree with you. I agree with you because how we live and how we feel really does have a ripple effect to those around us. And I remember when I was overweight, unhealthy, really low on energy, and I've got 2 kids, they're 10 and 12, and and I couldn't walk, I couldn't keep up, I was out of breath. It was just a whole, and I was in my 20s, 30s, probably by that stage. And now in my 40s, I have more energy, more vibrancy. I'm happier. I can be active with my kids in a way like I haven't before. And I want that to be the case for me long term, you know?
All right. We did this one.
Mm-hmm.
So, would anyone in Kilt's community know any carnivore doctors in the London, Canada, or this area? Don't know what this area refers to because I don't know where you are, but uh, there are a few places where you can look for doctors. Obviously, if you probably get in contact with any of the carnivores in London, they might be able to tell you. But the Society of Metabolic Health Practitioners has a database or a directory of doctors around the world. The Nutrition Network does as well. Dr. Kiltz has a section on his website where we do as well. And I don't know of any other. I know there are many, but unfortunately, there are not many places where you can look. I don't think there are many doctors around the world that are in the lifestyle of carnivore or keto. Although the number, at least that they are keto friendly, is I think it's growing. There we still have too many prejudices against the diet itself because people assume from whatever they have heard in the past, oh, it's bad, period, and they never look into it. So hopefully you can find someone in your area. Uh, I think one of the easiest ways will be to find someone who might be on social media and you know it's local to you and ask them if they know of anyone. And, Facebook groups and things like that, they might offer some
Do you know,
assistance in that.
what I find too is that you just have to find a good doctor who's actually open to your choices and will, they may not agree with you, but they will support the process. I have a couple of great doctors here who support me doing the lifestyle, but they don't agree with it as such, or they won't recommend it. So maybe it's more of also finding a doctor who will be open to like seeing it through with you, rather than like, I'll go to a carnivore doctor, because like you said, there may not be many around.
Yeah. And I think the number of doctors who are more keto friendly is growing, even if they're not keto themselves or carnivores,
Mm.
or at least they will tolerate the patient, because who's in charge of your health care? It's not the doctor, it's you, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes also the way we approach, when we go to the doctor's office, uh, the way you approach your doctor uh, should be not very confrontational, but just explain to them what you're doing. If you want to, you explain to them, this is what I do. And if you're looking for any specific test, if you've been doing your research, you might have a request for the doctor. Most doctors, I think, will try to help you if you explain to them what is it that you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Uh, Unfortunately, some will not, and some will be upset with you if they want to prescribe something that you don't want, and they might kick you out of the practice. I think that's a bordering on the unethical to kick a patient out of a practice just because they won't take the medication you're prescribing, because you're basically forcing them to use a medication they don't want to use. And I think that's unethical. So I never kicked a patient out of my practice just because they didn't want to take a medication. I kicked them out of the
Mhm.
practice if their behavior was beyond uh, what it should be. Um,
Yeah.
all right. Well, thank you, Melissa. Where can we find you if we want to look for you?
Yeah. Thank you for having me on. Thanks everyone who jumped on to join us today. I mostly live on Instagram at Melissa B dot au at melissab.au. Yeah.
Okay. And just go find her on Instagram. And you said you don't have a specific date yet for your next event, but you're planning it for sometime in February. By the way, February is the best month of the year. It's my birthday,
What date in February is your birthday?
the 15th.
The 15th. Okay. It's not the 15th, but if you come down, it will be a great birthday present for you to come join us in February. Looking to be late February at this stage in Australia. Yeah.
So February 15th is a Sunday. That's a very good day for a birthday party.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Well, thank you very much
Thanks,
for
Dr.
being here,
Mel.
Melissa.
Thanks for
Uh,
having me. Great to see you.
and go and find her on Instagram. And we'll see you
Yes.
tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Uh, in the same channels. Okay. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye.